now, Marcus Smart, I would say they didn't quite do that to y'all. Didn't do that to them. Okay, there's a big difference. Anyway, look, it is a pleasure. We get to bring in a brother who knows the Boston Celtics as well as anyone, who knows the NBA as well as anyone. Sherrod Blakely, who is a broadcaster, who is a writer, who is an educator, and Sherrod, show him the shirt, a proud dad. Why? There it is. Represent it.
And that's that ain't the Loyola Chicago. That's Loyola New Orleans right there. Tell us about your baby girl not only graduating, but graduating with serious honors.
Yeah. Baby girl, a.k.a. Ariana Blakely, a.k.a. tax deduction number 2. She graduates on Saturday, and she was named Journalist of the Year at the school. And she also got inducted into the National Honor Society for Mass Communications and Journalism. Wow. And Pops don't feel so bad about cutting those checks. I feel like I actually got some value out of it. So we're good. We're good. And,
I mean, with that resume, Michael, she should have been on the show. Why are you here? We should have got her to talk about it with that resume.
She got the hair did. She got to get the hair did and the nails did for the big day.
Okay. All right.
Starting early. It's on Saturday, and we starting on Thursday. Somebody say Thursday. We starting on Thursday with all the preparations.
We got a lot of celebrating to do. We got a lot of celebrating.
Well, tell me this. I'll tell you who was not celebrating anything. The Boston Celtics, after losing that game last night, Sherrod, shocking. They're up by 6. As I said to Mike, they're up by 6 with the ball, 1:44 to go. And down the stretch, they lose the ball. In their last 2 possessions, they don't have the ball, and they lose by 3. Is this thing over? Did they just lose a game, or did they lose the series?
No, this is how this series is going to go, because as Marcus Smart pointed out, they literally did the same thing to Milwaukee earlier in this series, and that's how this series is going to be. To me, this is a conference finals / NBA finals titanic battle that is going to have ups and downs, back and forth, where there's going to be inexplicable losses, and how the hell did they get that type of wins? That's what these two teams are made of. The winner of this team, I do believe, will be the representative of the Eastern Conference in the NBA Finals, because I'm looking over at the other side of the bracket. Miami, Philly, both good teams, but these are the teams. These 2 teams, whoever emerges, will be the East representative in the finals.
What about the other game from last night? Michael and I was saying earlier how it's fascinating how both of us watch these 2 games and watch these series and see them completely differently. So I'm going to see if I can go 2 for 2 with being on the same side as you, Sherrod. I think the Warriors should be worried. I think they should be concerned.
I'm with you, because here's the thing. They didn't just go out there and lose a game. They got destroyed. And the sad part about it, Memphis didn't even have to go deep into the bag. It's like absolutely annihilating a team, and you bring in your C game. Memphis is so much better than what we saw in that game. And that, if you're Golden State, you got to be worried about, because they destroyed and dismantled you in every way, shape imaginable. And I don't care whether this is the thing about Memphis. They don't care. They're so young and so talented. They don't care who you are, what you've done. They are they're that gang that you don't want to mess with, because they may not be the OGs. They may not be the true young bloods, but they battle. They scrappy. They ain't scared of nobody. And Golden State, you should be scared. You should be nervous.
Okay,
2 for 2, Mike.
I see you. I see you, Mike.
2 for 2.
You're 2 for 2. 2 for 2.
Yeah.
Now listen.
He agrees with me on both the series, both games.
I know this generation, and I say it with respect. This generation right here, fellas, not our generation. This generation, they built different. I know they built different. They don't see things the way we used to see them. Now, Sherrod, you covered a Celtics team in 2010 that lost a 3-2 series lead in the NBA Finals, lost to the Lakers, and people still talk about it. You know, I ain't lying. People still talk about, hey, we would have won that series if we had Kendrick Perkins.
Yeah.
So that's Kendrick Perkins, who was like number 5 of 5 starters, the 5th of 5 starters. Y'all trying to tell me up in here, you trying to tell me on a Thursday that Memphis has Golden State where they want them without Ja Morant going on the road?
Michael, exactly what I'm saying.
Are you kidding me?
They don't have them where they want them, but they've got them in a position where there's only one team that could be irrationally confident enough and go out and back that irrational confidence up and get back-to-back dubs against Golden State, and that's Memphis. This team has been playing irrationally confident basketball all season long and in the playoffs. They're not afraid of going into Golden State and getting a win. In fact, if they're being real with everyone, they expect to win Game 6. They absolutely expect, and they're to me, it's not even optimism. It's reality in their world that they have made the reality for the rest of us to see. We are witnesses to the greatness of the Memphis Grizzlies. With or without John Morant, they're that dude. They're that team.
You're preaching good, Pops. You're preaching good. I like it. Now, listen, because it's baby girl's graduation, I'm not gonna bet anything, because you need to put all of your resources, devote all of your resources to getting her the greatest graduation gift possible. But I'm gonna say this. All right, let me flip it around on both of y'all. If Golden State should be nervous by what Memphis is capable of doing, and if Golden State wasn't in Game 5 and they got a beat down to show for it, you best believe, okay, yeah, we nervous. You woke us up now. Game 6, they'll be ready. It's okay. It's all right.
I believe that.
It's all right to get their attention.
But I don't think
because then they'll respond.
But I gotta reject that premise. I said earlier, I don't think this was a matter of Golden State taking Memphis lightly last night. I think that lets Golden State off the hook. And it discredits Memphis. To suggest that they went in and they were already checked out and looking ahead to Game 6 and closing out at home. No, the Warriors have been around, at least their core has been around too long to know that you can't mess around with a team like this. They went in with a closeout mentality, and to say that, the Warriors haven't played their game. Lois the Keys, part of their game is bouts of sloppiness and immaturity. That's part of what makes them who they are. They can be frustrating at times with the way how loose and careless they can be with the basketball. So that was very Warriors-like last night. It was also very Grizzlies-like. This is a good team, with or without Ja Morant, is the bottom line. Since you and I are feeling each other so much, Sherrod, let me ask you this too. Going back to the Celtics series, Michael, your boy, was like, if it gets back to Boston, he has more faith. I don't want to overstate it, Michael. You have more faith
go ahead.
in the Bucks in the Garden than he does
Game 7.
The Celtics in Game 7. I'm like, well, first of all, this series is destined to go overtime in Game 7.
Exactly.
It was what it ended up being. But, like, I really like Boston's chances at home in Game 7. And furthermore, I don't look at it as Boston now has to win 2 in a row. Boston just got to win 1. And they both got to win Game 7. That ain't 2 in a row. Boston just got to win 1. And they both got to win 1 after that.
This is why the
where's that gift? Where's that gift? This is why
the Blakely hold on. This is why the Blakely Golden Child is the greatest journalist to come out of Loyola with that kind of math. Come on, like what are you talking about?
I had one math class. At Loyola University in New Orleans my freshman year. That was a wrap. I took the minimum.
Well, listen. Boston, Game 7 at home, I can't see how they don't win that game. I can't. And particularly how they lost Game 5. You better believe that as much as they're going to talk about moving on to the next game, they will not let Game 5 die. They will not forget about that game. And if they are fortunate to get back into the TD Garden and put this series away in 7 games, which is something that we've all, I think, from the very beginning thought was going to be the reality of the series, they're going to get it done. I have absolutely zero doubt, Mike, that they will lose a Game 7 in the TD Garden.
Okay.
No doubt in my mind.
Tell me, okay, all right. So I want to get away from the emotion of it. Now let's get to the strategy of it. Why is there no doubt? What is it about Boston? What's the advantage they have beyond the floor, the famous parquet that they're playing on? What's the advantage they have over Milwaukee that gives you so much confidence?
Their very best player, his name is Jason Tatum. He has not had a Jason Tatum game up to this point in the series. He's had some good games, but he has not had that signature put the team on the back kind of performance. Giannis, as great as Giannis is, and there obviously are levels that he can still get to as a player, which is kind of scary. His moment in the series was Game 5 when he gets the cut over the eye from Pat Connaughton. He's making 3 balls. He's doing things that are very un-Giannis-like. And that was key to them finding a way to rally and get the win. Tatum has not had that game. He will have that if he gets to a game 7. Jaylen Brown is going to be Jaylen Brown. You know, he wakes up and just rolls out of bed and gets you 20 points if you're the Celtics. The only thing that can limit him is a hamstring. And to me, last and certainly not least, the Celtics, it's their time. The way their season has gone, the way Ime Udoka has basically, you know, he's withstood the storms of being second-guessed and questioned and doubted to roll out 51 wins, sweep through the Brooklyn Nets, take the defending NBA champs to the brink of elimination. He is going to get it done. I'm a big Ime believer, not so much before. So the coach, your best player, and your steady Eddie, Jaylen Brown, they're going to be the keys to you getting it done in Game 7.
I think we got 4 Game 7s we're looking at, because I don't think any of these teams have separated themselves or distinguished themselves as the clear-cut better team from the opposition. So I want to pivot to tonight real quickly. We got 2 potential road closeout games, Phoenix at Dallas, Miami at Philadelphia. Philadelphia is just frustrating and confusing enough to fool around and win Game 6, if not Game 7 on the road, for crying out loud. I don't believe that they will, but it wouldn't shock me. Do you see either or both of these teams up 3-2 closing out on the road tonight, or do those series continue on? Miami
will close it out. I just think that in the long and short of it, they're the better team from top to bottom.
You think so?
Yeah. I do. And again, Philly, they've had a great season. You look at all that. They absolutely, but Miami has the better team. And, you know, to me, every year we always go through this. Eric Spoelstra is maybe one of the most underappreciated coaches in NBA history. All he does is create a team, regardless of what Pat Riley gives them to work with, that are gritty, grimy, tough, and they find ways to win games often that they're not expected to, or they're given some questions about whether they can do it. They should win that series. As far as Phoenix and Dallas, I like that one going 7. I love that one going 7 because I think Dallas, they've got an unbelievably dominant player in Luka. And Phoenix, again, good team, has had a great season. But I just wonder, I get this kind of fat and happy feel about them, that they've had so much success that they're getting kind of comfortable. They're kind of feeling themselves a little bit.
And I'm not watch how you talk about Phoenix around Michael.
I'm not sure that they're still playing with that. I'm not sure they're still playing with that edge that we saw earlier in the season. I don't know if it's still there. And I think losing Game 6 and being forced to play Game 7, that's going to be the wake-up call for them. Because I still have Phoenix to win it all. I just think this series is going to go 7, and they'll get it done at home.
Yeah, and Mike's right. Those are my Phoenix Suns. I got an eye on them. Been watching them. I've been watching them all year.
I thought Mike was about to come and reach out and touch your brother around the neck on that
one. Yeah, but look, man.
Well, let me ask. Let me ask you this though. Who's your team? Because I'm looking at Phoenix, and I've been watching them all year. We always, you know, we give a lot of love to Phoenix, Western Conference teams. We give a lot of love here to Phoenix and to Memphis. Who's a team, regardless of conference, that you've been watching this year and you're saying, you just watch, they'll be there at the end. That's my championship favorite. Who is it?
Phoenix has been that team. They've been the team that I've watched and felt from the very outset was going to get it done this year. I look at Chris Paul, who's just, we don't got enough time to talk about how good Chris Paul is and his impact. But Monty Williams, I'm so happy that he finally got his just due as Coach of the Year. And you start looking at their roster, they just got a lot of really, really good players. And having the pain of coming so close a year ago, that has propelled them to be a really, really great team. But my favorite team to watch this season, and I've watched them quite a bit, is the Memphis Grizzlies. I love hearing Megan Triplett talk about that team because I love that team. They play the way you like to see teams play. They're young, they're hungry, and they don't give a F who is on the other side of the floor against them. They're coming regardless. There is no fear or intimidation in them. And that is so unusual for a team that young. But rest assured, at some point, them young boys, they're going to want to get paid. And that's when it's going to get messy.
The only way to get experience is experience. All right, listen, want to touch on this before we let you go, man. Joel Embiid now has all too much experience with finishing runner-up when it comes to MVP voting. I saw your column the other day, the case against Nikola Jokic winning MVP. I wonder,
y'all ain't going to be feeling each other now. Y'all ain't feeling each other now after this.
No, listen. I mean, I prefer the case for Embiid versus against Jokic, but hey, it's provocative. It gets the people going. The voting has come out. I'm curious about your takeaway now that you've seen the final tally, and if you if you think any differently about this process now that you see how close it was in terms of Jokic having the fewest first place votes in recent memory.
Well, I think it confirms a lot of some of the points that I made about him. And again, Nikola Jokic had a hell of a season. There's no question about it. He was the MVP of the Denver Nuggets, without question. But
that's a backhanded compliment.
Man.
Okay.
Oh, dog.
But,
that was cold. That was cold.
Here's the thing. The voting by the voters reflected also the following that he had amongst fans. And let's be honest, guys, when you talk about the league MVP in the NBA, the league MVP in the National Basketball Association, that individual is must-see wherever he's at. Whatever arena he's in, he's that guy. Denver, at home, which is where you should always have a great, robust fan base, they were 16th in the NBA in average percentage attendance at home, which means that basically you're average when it comes to people who in your own market want to see you play. You are average, and you are bottom 10 on the road. Embiid, Mr. Giannis Antetokounmpo. You go down the line, the top, and you guys know this, the MVPs are guys that people want to see home and away.
Ain't box office enough? Is that the argument? Are you serious?
That is part of the argument, Mr. Smith. That's part,
oh
part of
the God.
I told you.
He's not famous enough because he's Serbian and pulling up in a chariot in Serbia getting the award. He's not. I mean, are we serious with this? That's what it's come to. He ain't famous enough for you.
I'm gonna go the route that most people like to go when they're for him, and that is the analytics. He won 48 games this year with a Denver team that we all know they weren't very good. They weren't very good. But 48 wins is impressive. There's no doubt about it. But if you're going to go with the model that, well, he was able to uplift a team that wasn't very good to 48 wins, why not Luka Doncic, who elevated his team to the fourth best record? And if you say, well, let's just dismiss that whole concept. Let's just look at the 48 wins. He got them in the Western Conference in a year where, and if we're being honest and real, the Western Conference was a very top-heavy league, this conference this year. The middle class was weak. Strong upper class, weak middle class, really poor bottom class. And here's the other thing, and this is the last point I'll make on this, Michael. Take a look.
Keep going. The floor is yours.
Take a look at the four teams that qualify for the play-in tournament in the East: Charlotte, Atlanta, Brooklyn, and Cleveland. How many of those teams are better than Denver? If you're not clearly better than the damn play-in teams, how can you possibly be my MVP if your team and your play isn't good enough to elevate you past the team that didn't even make the playoffs?
Okay, this multiverse and these hypotheticals. Okay, so two things are clear. One,
oh my God,
what you dancing for? You like him? Embiid's your MVP too. Number one.
No, he's not. No, I just like I'll tell you why I'm dancing. I want you to continue, Mike.
You could have sworn
I just like
MVP.
how this little. No, I didn't say Embiid. I never said Embiid. I never did. I never said that.
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, we got footage on this. I think we got receipts, but I just think it's fun that you guys are just feeling each other. You
probably said, yeah, you're right. No, Michael, you're right. You did say Jokic at one point. You said Jokic. You said Embiid. You said Giannis. You said Booker. You probably went through a lot. Of people. It depends on which day you have.
No, this ain't about me though. It ain't about me.
Okay, no, it's not. All right, back to you, Sherrod. Back to you, Sherrod.
Go ahead.
It's a quirk. Everything you just said suggests one thing. You just want an Embiid to be your MVP, to be the MVP. And if you want Embiid to be MVP, you can make an argument for Joel Embiid, a legitimate argument for Joel Embiid to be MVP without resorting to market size and whether or not he's in commercials and whether or not he looks like an MVP should. Because I think you'll probably be much more comfortable with Embiid being a back-to-back MVP, the fifth center to be back-to-back MVP, than Nikola Jokic for whatever reason. It ain't 27, 14, and 8 ain't analytics. Here's the second part of it when it comes to this MVP conversation. the winning thing, and I want to bring back Mark J. Spears. He ain't here, but we heard him say this yesterday. And I'm going to bring this up, Mike. Let's grind in my gears yesterday. This idea about, oh, we got to reward winning, and it should be the best player on the best team. Well, if you're the best player on the best team and you won 8 games more than anybody else, that probably means you're on a better team, which is a lot harder to establish your value if you're not the clear-cut driving force of that team's success. Because you can't tell me unequivocally that Devin Booker is better than Chris Paul or is more responsible for the Suns' success than Chris Paul is. What I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt is that that's a freaking lottery team in Denver, if not for Nikola Jokic. His supporting cast was worse than all the other MVP finalists. Full stop. That's all I got to say about that. That's why he's the MVP. I don't care if he won 40. He won 48 games and Embiid won 51. So you're going to hold him being a 6th seed with 48 wins in the Western Conference against him when Embiid's team won 51? Like, I'm okay if Embiid is your MVP. I'm okay if Giannis is your MVP by virtue of his numbers and being the best player in the league. What I'm not okay with is discrediting Nikola Jokic. I'm not okay with that.
Here's the other thing. Hey, Sherrod, you know what I also don't like? I don't like the box office point. You know what that proves to me? Denver doesn't know what it's looking at. I think Jokic should demand to be traded and go somewhere where people appreciate him and they see the genius up close and they choose. What are you doing? Watching the Avalanche?
Well,
the University of Denver? What the hell else are you doing?
Well, it's funny you should mention that, Michael, because when there was a guy that we're both familiar with, or all familiar with, named Carmelo Anthony, they were actually top 10 at home in Tennessee. So it's not like the Denver fan base does not recognize greatness. It's not like they don't recognize ballers. I'm just saying.
They don't like that picture. Hey, let me tell you something about wait, listen. I'm about to finish it up by saying that. I love you too. Like, bruh, talk about full circle. This Sherrod knows greatness when he sees it. You know how I know he knows greatness when he sees it, Michael Holley? Because he was one of the first people to read my clips in college at NABJ in Phoenix and be like, "Hey man, you got this," and he helped guide my career. So this man trusts his opinion because he knows greatness when he sees it. He saw it.
And let me just point out one thing real quick before we get out. I do believe Jokic is a great player. I don't want anyone to get this idea that I think he sucks, because he doesn't. He is an exceptionally talented player. He's just not my pick for MVP.
That's fine. That's fine. Hey, listen,
that's great, man.
You could not go wrong, and we love you, man.
Hey,
congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, man. Congratulations to you, your lovely wife Jennifer, your whole family, man. Congratulations on this big weekend for you guys.
Appreciate it, brothers. Appreciate it.
Wolfpack in the house. Journalist of the year. I don't think I was ever journalist of the year at Loyola.
Hey, thanks for watching Brother from Another on YouTube. Make sure you hit subscribe before you leave, and be sure to watch us 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Peacock. Appreciate you.